Welcome to Honeybee, real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name's Charles. The day I asked a woman I thought I'd spend forever with to marry me is burned into my memory, not because of joy, but because of how it shattered me. Instead of a tender yes, she stared straight at me, laughed, and said, "You really believed I'd say yes?" Everyone around us had been waiting for that magical answer, but instead, I was made to feel like the biggest fool alive as she turned and walked away. You'd think that was the beginning of the story, right? That humiliating moment in front of everyone. But no, that was just the explosion. The fire had been smoldering long before that day. Things didn't collapse out of nowhere. Looking back, I can trace how every step led right there. And before anyone else says it, I'll admit it myself. I was a fool. I ignored red flags, chased after someone who was never truly mine, and convinced myself that giving more love would eventually be enough. I paid the price. If there's one lesson in all this, it's that blind devotion can be the most dangerous form of love. So let me take you back to where it all began. It started when I was just a teenager, convinced I'd found the real thing. I met Violet back then. I wouldn't call it love at first sight, but whatever it was, it hooked me deep. We started dating before college was even on our radar, and I was just happy to have her by my side. When college applications came around, we hit our first fork in the road. I had a few schools in mind, and she could have applied to one of them. I hoped she would, but she didn't. She chose a university hours away, in another state. I didn't push. I told myself she had her reasons, and that we could make the distance work. So, like so many young couples, we tried long distance. It was tough. Anyone who's been in one knows that. We went from seeing each other every week to only holidays or the rare visits I scraped money and time together for. I was the one traveling, the one calling, texting, checking in even during exams. I thought that's how love worked. You sacrifice, you endure, and it pays off. But looking back, it was never equal. I carried the weight while she slipped further away. At the time, I thought I was being supportive. I even felt proud of how much I cared. I didn't realize I was caring alone. A close friend once told me, "Charles, she's using your kindness against you." I brushed it off. He said I was too soft, that I made it easy for her to give nothing while keeping me hooked. But I refused to hear it. I defended her, made excuses, painted her in the best light, while she never once did the same for me. If I had opened my eyes then, maybe things would have ended before they really began. But I didn't. After graduation, Violet and I both ended up back in our hometown. We didn't live together, but we were close enough that staying together felt natural. We got jobs in different places. Being in the same city again should have been good. It should have helped us rebuild. But nothing changed. Our relationship stayed one-sided. I was still the one planning, reaching out, fixing things when they broke. And the worst part? I didn't even see how unhealthy it was. One day, during a normal argument, Violet looked at me and said, "I can't keep doing this." That should have been my wake-up call. But instead, I begged. I sent long messages, called nonstop, apologized for things I didn't even understand. I tried to glue together something that should have been left in pieces. Eventually, she stayed, not out of love, but pity. Her voice lost its warmth. Her smile lost its spark. I was living on scraps of attention and pretending it was enough. Still, I tried to please her. Holidays, her birthday, anniversaries. I spent everything I could to make her happy. Fancy dinners, thoughtful gifts, surprise deliveries to her office. I wasn't wealthy, but I didn't care. Meanwhile, she never once returned the gesture. Not on my birthday, not when I was struggling, not even with a small act of kindness. I gave endlessly and got back silence and distance. Yet, somehow, I convinced myself proposing was the right move. I was excited, even I saved up for a real diamond ring, picturing her tears of joy, maybe even her jumping into my arms. I even called her best friend to help plan something special. But instead of helping, she sighed and said, "Charles, how can you not see how badly she's treating you?" It was like she was tired of watching me run into the fire. Did I listen? Of course not. I told her she was jealous. She just said, "Good luck," and hung up. So I planned it all myself. I chose a nice venue, told Violet we were celebrating a small personal win. She agreed, dressed beautifully, smiled through dinner. Afterward, we walked into a garden. I took a deep breath, dropped to one knee, and asked, "Will you marry me?" The place went quiet. People clapped, some recorded, and then she laughed. "You really thought I'd say yes?" She yanked her hand back, turned, and walked away, leaving me kneeling in front of strangers who slowly lowered their phones in awkward silence. That's when it hit me. She had never loved me. She just tolerated me, and I was too blind to see it, even when everyone else tried to warn me. I stood up, pocketed the ring, and left. But the nightmare wasn't over. Someone posted the video online that night. By morning, it had spread everywhere. Strangers mocked me. Old acquaintances reached out. Even Violet's best friend messaged, not to gloat but to say, "I told you I tried to save you." And then she revealed the truth. Violet had been seeing someone else for months. She only kept me around because I made her life easier. I wasn't loved, just useful. I felt used, cheap, and above all, stupid. I'd ignored the signs. I let love blind me. I took time off work to recover, because every day felt like dragging myself through broken glass. I once told a friend it felt like being stabbed with a broken bottle, and twisted every time I remembered. Thankfully, my friends didn't let me drown. They showed up, pulled me out for drinks, movies, random drives. One even dragged me on morning jogs, not because I love running, but because I needed something to stop me from sinking deeper. They were my lifeline. Without them, I don't know if I'd still be here. During my last week of leave, they packed bags, blasted music, and said, "We're going." I resisted, but one looked me dead in the eye and said, "We're not asking." And they were right. I needed it. We drove through small towns, ate greasy fries at random diners, sang badly to old songs, and for the first time in weeks, I laughed. At one point, I even said out loud, "I needed this." I started taking pictures, posted some online. I expected mockery, but most comments were kind. People rooted for me. I clung to that. When the trip ended, life wasn't magically fixed, but I came back with a shift in me. I poured energy into myself, bought things without guilt, took myself to restaurants, parks, exhibits. I learned I actually liked my own company. For the first time in a long time, just being alive felt enough. 3 months passed. I stopped begging for love and started finding peace. Then one afternoon, my phone buzzed with messages from a number I knew too well. Violet. The first said, "Hey, how are you?" I ignored it. Hours later, more came. "I didn't realize how much you loved me. I regret not valuing you. I lost something real." I still didn't reply. Her final message read, "Even if you can't forgive me, can we at least talk?" That's when I knew for sure. I was done. I blocked her, but she didn't stop. Days later, I saw her in person. I walked past her like she was a stranger. Weeks later, I found out why she came back. The guy she left me for dumped her after seeing the viral video. He realized if she could humiliate me like that, she could do it to him too. She didn't return because she missed me. She came back because she lost him. I was the fallback plan. Even then, she kept trying through random numbers and new accounts. But I couldn't fall for it again. Trust was gone. She'd had her chance and threw it away. Looking back, I see everything clearer now. When you're in love, or think you are, it's easy to excuse what you never should. But the lesson stuck with me. Never beg for love. Real love doesn't need begging. If they truly care, they don't humiliate you in front of a crowd. Don't ignore the people who warn you. Friends, family, even her own best friend tried to protect me. I shut them out to protect my fantasy. Don't mistake hope for denial. Hope kept me holding on, thinking she'd change. She never did. And most of all, don't give more loyalty than you're receiving. I gave everything, my time, money, heart, and got nothing but indifference. Loyalty without love is self-betrayal. I wasn't weak. I just loved the wrong person the right way. Now I know better. If my story spares even one person the pain I went through, then maybe it was worth sharing. So let me leave you with this. If you were in my place, what would you have done? Walked away at the first signs? Or stayed hoping they'd see your worth? If this story resonates, or if you know someone who needs to hear it, share it. You never know who you might help. Thanks for listening.